how has crude oil affected the society? Well, look around you. Everything that is made of plastic is made of crude oil. Almost every form of transport uses oil. It powers the equipment that was used to build almost every building within the last century. It is also used to make certain components of fertilizers which allow us to feed billions of mouths, and then allows us to plow, process, and transport the food all around the globe so people living in desolate places get fresh food. It does produce pollutants in its use, but I feel like people treat oil as the enemy nowadays. Along with coal, it has transformed human society to what it is today. Emergency action plan. In case of an emergency, there should always be an action plan. As Shell has done, $100 million to an action plan. They have prioritized safety as first, and then all the rest is after that. All of this is to prevent oil spills, and this will help other people. People affected by oil spills. This is an example of what would happen if one of these oil spills ever occurred again. In the Gulf of Mexico, one of the most celebrated and cherished natural spaces in the world. The people who live along the coast rely on healthy fisheries and clean beaches to sustain their way of life. In 2008, nearly 1.3 billion pounds of finfish and shellfish were harvested in the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf produces 75% of the domestic US shrimp output. However, during this oil spill, a lot of this fish was covered in oil and killed. This meant that the economy was being weakened. During the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, referred as the Gulf of Mexico's oil spill, $42.2 billion had been spent on preventing a wellhead blowout. 4.9 million barrels of oil was spilled into the ocean. This covered about 2,500 to 68,500 square miles of the ocean. Fractionating columns. These are buildings that are designed to heat up crude oil and disperse them in a different way to make them most useful to us. Such as at 20 degrees, crude oil can be heated to make petroleum gas, while at 370 degrees, it can be made to make asphalt and bitumen. Oil spill occurrence rate. As we know, in the past there were lots of oil spills on rigs. Now people are using those oil spills to try and stop other oil spills in other rigs. It estimates that in 1990, the Oil Pollution Act said that oil spills are being more and more taken care of. They have to be number one to be taken care of, especially responsible parties involved in oil and gas activities. But crude oil is actually made from dead animals and plants dying. Over 350 million years, they get buried in mud and sand. They got compressed and heated at the same time, causing a reaction which makes crude oil.